All right. I'm about to look at the Toronto Faze game. I didn't watch it today, so this is my first time through. I did watch the last one, but I didn't post it on my YouTube. But regardless, like anything I look through, I'm just gonna talk through with OBS on because fuck it, why not?
Two record in hardpoint. I'm gonna say that again. 20-2. Like if they do well at the major, that's conversation for best hardpoint team of all time.
I'll break two hen, two mid. This is standard. You need to send one guy third. This guy hen should be able to cut off anything to do. Not anything to do, but a lot to do with this AC push here.
Rio's one of the only maps
Depending on if he has lightweight, we'll see if Draza has lightweight potentially.
played against Atlanta Faze. They do not care.
So you see the first thing he does, he kind of peeks his barrel across.
For the map 5 if we get
They flop mid, kind of. They trade out one kill. This guy's here a little bit late.
there, Toronto 0-1. They're squaring up, and I feel like Toronto were just saying to Atlanta Faze, like, if you beat us on these maps.
So yeah, and then Draza gets his kill hen. This is a huge kill.
Then we just
He doesn't get it. So you see, I get called an idiot for doing this in ranked all the time. Makes people super fucking mad. This is especially good in control. If you're on this side, so this would be offense on control and obviously like P3 side hardpoint. On P1 or the A point on control, if you get clock tower, there's this little thing you can sit behind. You can watch the entire top green push and you watch the black barrel push. So your teammates third and on hill, which for some reason are looking where they shouldn't be looking, but regardless, these guys don't have to worry about their AC jump, their black barrel, nothing. So that's really huge for them because they can just, especially with the guy scrapyard here, they can just focus mid, and you're probably just not going to break from mid. Like
ban against you in the future.
Unless I was gonna say secret is your best play, scrap goes secret. I don't know what Abizu was doing honestly.
But that's a long-term discussion right now in the
Yeah, and you see Draza's playing the exact spot I was talking about, watching low, top green. This is a really good play, especially in control. Not so much in hardpoint. I'm actually gonna see when he decides to move from here, because I'm pretty sure Toronto just completely chalked this entire side of the map because they knew that Draza got control of this. It's how overpowered this position is.
Term opening salvo. Atlanta Faze get that initial time, but it is the square ups of all square ups for the moment. A nice little.
They are banging the shit out of the scrap. They know Draza's clock. They know there's a guy third. They got the guy off time, so Abizi's last. So they know all four are here, and so they're not worried about ticket.
Battle towards the middle.
They want to get red control to stop the scrap spawn once, well, any sort of scrap spawn that may occur. Sometimes it can be weird, but you want to get red control early here, and even if Simp gets his two-piece.
Map, but Atlanta Faze, for the moment, kills are flowing in their direction.
Never mind.
Dropping salvo in the first hill of the game. I like to see it. Here we go, though.
Yeah, and now they have red control and two road. These two guys don't worry about. That's what I said. Even if who is this? Is number 7? Simp. Yeah, even if Simp got this two-piece, didn't really matter. Because like they get there first, and they're not going to spawn scrap even accidentally. Nor they shouldn't spawn scrap, but they're definitely not going to spawn scrap with someone in red. So
a good start for Faze. Looking over towards this
it's
rotation.
3-0 on row right now.
Scrappy will be looking to try and get some sort of pinch going on.
Draza, I kind of want to go back real quick. Sorry, we're not getting anywhere right now, but I want to see when he decided to rotate off. So he decided to rotate off.
Battle towards the middle of the map.
About 25 seconds left. He said, "Okay." It appeared like if they were coming here, they would have already filled at this point. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my play.
Atlanta Faze, for the moment, kills are flowing in their direction.
Oh, we dropping salvo in the first hill of the game. I like to see it. Here we go, though. Yeah, it's
this play. He gets weird timing with Scrap here. Scrap should have expected this.
a good start for Faze.
Draza's gonna get top.
Rotation over towards P2. Keep an eye on Scrappy. We'll be looking to try and
All
get
this
some
goes
sort of
down.
pinch
He's
going
gonna
on
end
from
up
mid-map.
trading this probably. No, Scrap gets away.
So P2 coming in very, very shortly.
The thing about being top here is that it makes the game not want to spawn people like close dumpster for the rotation. When P2 actually pops, it won't spawn people close dumpster. 5 seconds before P2 pops, it will. But his teammates don't get any kills anyway, I don't think so.
2 points, and maybe a couple more by the time Faze will get on there over towards P1, but rotation should be locked in for Toronto. Can they hold tight?
The Draza can be pretty annoying. I don't generally like to play going top plat when they're spawning dumpster because they can just fill through dumpster. And your best option is the late flank. All they have to do is have a guy lay or just basically watch the dumpster jump pinch. And then this guy top is just useless. even though it seems like a really good spot, it's just not. And Draza jumps out of it immediately, so that's good. You see Faze spawning. I'm not sure where they spawned. I think they spawned hen. Yeah, they spawn kind of over here. They're gonna fill through the pinch here instead of going through red because they know after Envoy got that trade at the end there that everybody is, or not everybody, but Toronto definitely has scrap control. And so instead of fighting for scrap control, they're going to play through here. They're going to keep these guys scrapyard because as long as these guys are scrapyard, they're going to spawn next anyway. And if they want to hit through for rotation, then the pinch should be too much, and they should at least get a good amount of this time.
Coming in very, very
'Cause
shortly.
I mean, this point is before the hill even pops. I'm going to skip back ahead a little bit.
Faze will get on there over towards P1, but rotation should be locked in for Toronto. Can they hold tight?
Jumps top red.
Well, for the moment, they're looking good right there. Even leaving the back spawns open. They have 2 players pushed out towards red, and they're waiting for those.
And so what's actually really big brain about this play out of Faze is them seeing Draza jump to top red makes them think, okay, there's at least one less guy pinching. They're not going to expect 3 to pinch. So they're going to know 2 guys are top red because this is Simp, not Draza.
To come through. So Insight and the players on Toronto, if they get these kills, FaZe are going to be in a...
And you see they're still playing quite front heavy. No one is playing for these guys pinch because they don't have a whole lot of info here. I think both their guys were top red or one guy bottom red went down.
Bad spot. Abizi looking to pounce though. Found the route to make it towards the time, but tagged up along the way. But Insight forced in a cubby, and Atlanta FaZe never got the bad spawns, and inside the hill. Now the kills still going their direction.
Beautiful.
The tears.
Yeah, and see that's the point. Like now there is a good chance after this trade out happened that someone Toronto spawns P3. Depending on how quickly they wipe these guys out. But it doesn't matter. You're getting over half of this hill. You can play Scrappy on P3. Even though P3 is a money hill.
Clean house, they get the
But
clean.
now that they have hill and Toronto spawning here, they're spawning a little bit further out as well. They have extra control on the map. They're buying time. They can to get like the mid cross if who is this? If Draza wanted to. There's a lot of things FaZe can do here. This is an amazing position.
Break in Atlanta FaZe. Get to run the score up just a little bit. 30 seconds left on this old time. And, I mean, Ultra, they might try to strip it away from Abizi if he gives it to him. But for the moment, that rotation, Atlanta
Yeah,
FaZe.
they're double playing old. This is weird. And the thing about it is Toronto does, I swear, they do everything together. They, like, don't make a lot of solo plays on their breaks. And I'm not sure if they're a good breaking team or not, but it seems like they are. And yeah, that's kind of how you do it.
Are way ahead of the game.
Yeah, Toronto Ultra need to make...
So, Toronto basically made the decision here. There's 2 guys at old. Even though it's just 15 seconds, they absolutely, positively need to kill both of these players before they go into red. Because even though when they kill both of these 2 players, they're going to spawn next. The reason for that is because these 2 players from FaZe have had too much time to get map control, to get like third and to watch the mid cross, and they don't really have time to go anywhere else. They really want to play through red here, kind of is the point. Because I'm pretty sure either they don't like something about having to break through third when FaZe is here early, or you know it's something deeper than that. But
get a few points here if they possibly can do.
Yeah, you can't just leave a guy hill. They all 4 play for it, and you see I think this is Insight just says, nah, you guys got it. That's trusting your teammates. Like, you're not going to get 2-piece, and he just comes on over.
It's best to lock this down as long as he can.
So now, Gaza's supposed to be watching this mid-cross. He's going to play scrap control. And that's the thing. They knew that all of them were old. Besides maybe Insight. They might not have info on Insight. But that really suggests that they want to play through scrap. But in an earlier replay, we had a similar situation, and the team just rotated to third. I guess, you know, this is the pro level. These are the 2 best teams in the game, so I trust these guys a little bit more to play it proper.
Champions. Atlanta FaZe are locked in over towards the junk side. Push going to start coming very, very quickly, though. Scrapping the boys already.
Okay, Abizi getting that kill is huge. Oh, and he goes down. So Abizi being red here, what it does is instead of spawning these guys kind of like closer on P2, because Cell is right here, he's blocking Hen and Clock, these guys are going to spawn like back P2.
Yeah, Abizi's able to find one Simp and Celium.
They're going to spawn Clock anyway. Celium, I think, he dropped down to the plat right here to look at his mid. and he stopped blocking the spawn extremely temporarily.
Volume up as well.
This is a very finicky spawn right here. Like, it wants to spawn them hen, but it will spawn them here.
Good teamwork coming through from Toronto Ultra so far. A minute now popped.
So now they have info that they all spawn hen, because there's no reason any of them would have spawned old, because the BZ was right there.
Ready to go. On hill number
BZ
3
gets
is
the last
Toronto.
guy, so now they have a full wipe. They know all of them are going to be clock, and yeah, this breakthrough red, which I said kind of, I don't know if it was, I didn't really understand it. It didn't really work out for them. And FaZe really knew that's what they were going to do too. Because Draza, instead of holding the mid cross after you get info that there's 3 red, because he's the close guy to help scrap, he commits to scrap with 2 people, and then another guy I think even spawns up and look at it. So no one even watched the mid cross. They were just going to rely on Celium to kind of hold mid and just trust that they weren't going to go like 3 through green or something ridiculous. So I guess it makes perfect sense from FaZe's perspective. Like, Toronto would have had to do something like really tailored to exactly what FaZe is doing, when Toronto have literally 0 info on how FaZe are set up on next.
Some big kills coming in from a BZ, gonna pull scrap away.
This is similar to the other video. One guy red to spawn them a little bit further out. I think they'll generally spawn green or here as well if clock and hen are blocked. But a BZ, instead of doing kind of anything through red, just knows they all spawn clock side because they have info on this. He killed the last guy over here, and now he's just gonna immediately turn around and help. This is something you don't see often.
Side with Envoy.
You don't see this in challengers.
Push now gonna have to come through from the market side. Good stop from Faze here.
I know Octane's happy too, because Atlanta FaZe have the L setup going on. They pushed out the jump side, so Sam playing it passive over on.
Draza understands the timing. I can watch this for so long. Okay, now is about the time that they can be here. I'm not sure if someone called the cross on this guy as well. But yeah, that's just the internal clock.
But still gets found out, but already that
you get that tingle like, okay, they spawned clock this long ago, they can be here about now. And if you play the game enough, it rarely lets you down.
Perfectly, you funnel him in through Coop, you might get traded out, but inside the hill, Celium doing what he does best, might get dropped either way.
So Toronto break through low, they keep their hen spawn. I'm not sure if this is better or worse for them.
Is a very strong hold there for Atlanta FaZe, who of course.
All right, scrap. Who is this? Oh, this is an Envoy. Envoy being here, not the greatest play, I don't think, because watch where number 8 spawns. I think number 8 will spawn here.
In good position on the rotation as well. Envoy and Scrap trying to piece them up.
Oh no, they spawn Scrap because the old hasn't popped yet, and number 1 isn't blocking Scrap. You know what? I think number 1 might be positioned on this hill in a manner that blocks back P1 spawn, but doesn't block Scrap. I think if he was deeper in this hill, it might actually block this. I think he's playing this spot specifically to spawn them Scrap. Or he just knows they're spawning Scrap. I don't know which. But yeah, Envoy blocks these close spawns. You saw these guys come through. And once he kills Celium just spawns out. He doesn't spawn here anymore, he spawns here. But if this were 7 seconds later, then Celium would have spawned back here.
But a 40-point lead for Atlanta. This is what they like to see on Karachi.
100%. Toronto Ultra, though, I suppose, a couple of bad moments here and there.
Celium's playing for this guy old because he wants to put pressure on the other side. I think Celium kind of wants to force their hand. Get info on the guy third, potentially. You can go through mid, you can go through third, you can even long flank through hen. You can do a lot here that Toronto has to respect.
You still have a very
so
close game.
It might seem like he's a dumbass playing for -5 seconds, but he's not.
Envoy will fall.
But now Scrap is going to take his one-on-one, and he's going to make this take as long as possible, especially since his team is spawning close back now.
That's Toronto Ultra just going to try and keep FaZe off the point as long as they possibly can. 50 seconds still to go here. Don't expect a whole load.
FaZe might get... wait.
At a time, but if, well, these kills keep
they still spawn close back. So number 7 here, Simp, I think he's bottom green. Yeah, Simp is blocking these far spawns, and they're spawning close because of him. I think this is probably a mistake. I don't think he realizes he is blocking all these spawns over here. Like, sometimes it'll still spawn him like close dumpster right here, but it's not even doing that. He's just directly in that green's line of sight. opening this angle up, and it just won't spawn anyone there.
Of Lander Faze, that makes it 3 dead now. Then this time can be soaked.
So, yeah, and you even see that. It's a mistake, because Celium is cutting this Soda Cross, expecting them to have spawned up here. In reality, they all spawned close in the back. And they're probably thinking, what? How did they spawn there? Simp might not have even realized he was blocking that spawn.
Envoy's the only one left momentarily.
Bottom green will do it, just if you're in an angle where this line is open or close to being open, then they won't spawn there.
On the side of Toronto, who really do need to start stepping things up. Kleenex setting in 2 and 10. You would think on Karachi, it's his map. It's the kind of map that he would thrive in, but right now, FaZe are running them.
I'd let it Faze. This is a hill they play perfectly.
And now you see that close dumpster spawn. They're not spawning close new. Like, in these situations, it's very possible for Toronto to spawn, like, front bus. But the thing about it is that FaZe already have position in scrapyard. So the game kind of has this thing where it understands, like, it has certain spawn areas, but it'll have multiple spawns kind of spread out in that area. For instance, for this next hill, it's like back calf over here. It's dumpster jump right here. It's like, and if you block all of these, then you spawn like bottom green and yellow alley, and sometimes even like kind of over here in this cut. So like this is the like third priority set of spawns. This is second priority set of spawns, and then back P3 is first priority set of spawns for P5. That's kind of how it works. So since FaZe kind of have position here, the game kind of gets that like it shouldn't be spawning them on this close bus spawn or this yellow car spawn or even this back calf spawn, and it spawns them in the furthest possible position for this set of spawns. And we're still on P4 spawns, but they don't change going over too much at least.
As well, you had guys like a BZ off spawn.
And now right here, this doesn't make sense. Scrap gets a spawn close in the back, and this doesn't make it. His whole team spawns up here. He gets a spawn close in the back. This is nonsense. There's just nothing that would be causing this besides maybe Simp. Maybe Simp being top AC. The game tweaks about him being too close to the line of sight with these windows. These windows in top red, and you can like look through them. That actually might be it. If you're on this line of sight, you spawn them close. Oh my god.
The MCW.
That has to be it.
He knows he's going to be on the rotation over towards Junk, but they just handled the pressure on this hill perfectly. They had the timing exactly correct on when you want to pinch middle, and admittedly might lose the final.
Toronto opting to play through old. This is a pretty standard decision. Very hard to break through front red. If your ranked teammates are doing it, yell at them, tell them to stop. They're just going to play through third and try and get P3 spawns and then break through P3. That's simple. Like, you're breaking through front red is just not wise. And you see it here. For some reason, Celium spawns completely Narnia, back Old Hill. He doesn't even get these close spawns here because I think Scrap died a little bit too late for that. Something about no FaZe player being close enough to back P3 made the game tweak, and I think Toronto's gonna spawn. I think Toronto might spawn Hen here.
8 seconds, but it means you get that rotation.
All right, I have no words. So Abizi is barely not in red. You see how he's on this balcony here? He's barely not inside of red. If he was inside of red, then this guy wouldn't have spawned here. But since he's not inside of red, like I don't even think it matters where you are inside of red. You just have to be in some part of red, ticket, bottom red, the hallway, this little couch room right here. But for some reasons, Kleenex just spawns close bus. I don't think he's going to expect Celium to be here. I think they expect Cell to be P3.
Over towards the Junk Hill. That is a wild.
And, okay. We got an even wilder spawn.
Wild spawn for Kleenex to be able
That was a wilder spawn for Insight, but yeah.
to get, though. But 3 and 12.
Celium reads it. This kid is not human. This kid is not human. He reads it because he has no idea inside his front. He figures Abizi should be blocking front. And so he knows the timing of when he stopped blocking this back P3 spawn. And so he turns around and watches it because he knows he spawns there. And if he wouldn't have came here quickly, he would have gone in and cut yellow. And if he didn't see him yellow, he would have gone and cut green. And if he didn't see any of that, he would have gone through ticket.
for the moment. His opportunity maybe to turn things around. He was
Wow.
given a gift. He's looking to take advantage of
And
it.
Simp
but
and Draza
right here,
get huge kills. So this entire idea of not breaking through red, going through bottom, now it's completely in shambles. Because like I said earlier, like these spawns are finicky. There's a lot of different spawns. Back dumpster, side calf, yellow car, even front. Well, for this hill you don't spawn front bus. But top cafe here. You see Celium's in a position to block, like top plat will block all of those spawns. Also, where Celium is works fine too. So now they're spawning exactly where they were spawning on P4.
he's got a long way to go. His teammates just got obliterated.
Now Celium moves back through here. I think Celium might have gone here to block. I think he might. Oh my god, this kid is not human. Remember when I said they spawn inside green or back yellow here? He went here and simultaneously blocked the yellow spawn and the green spawn. Also, like, so he wasn't doing it just to ensure they didn't spawn back cafe. He went here to block those two spawns, and then the timing when all three of them spawned up, he goes and he cuts off dumpster because he knows they can't be there yet, and he knows he's just forced all three of them to spawn there. That is unbelievably high level COD. Like, don't be sad if you don't think you can do this, because you don't need to be this good to even be a pro. Like that is insane. Remember when I said Simp didn't know he was blocking the yellow spawn? Celium did the opposite shit.
Draza just reads it perfectly as well. 12 and 5 from him.
He knew exactly.
This morning. So, well, I don't know if he was talking a little bit of smack,
What he was
but some
doing.
inspirational tweets coming out from Draza, which we love
So yeah, he expects multiple to be jump wall, but he's not being flanked here.
to see.
They know that they have to play for him because no one's gonna want to jump over this wall or go through yellow, and then turn their back to cafe with Celium inside of it, like, and have a guy on their flank. They're gonna want to play for him, and so he moves to back closet in case, say, all three of them were to have gone jump wall instead of two. Including the guy he killed. And that way it takes as long as possible for them to kill him, and buy his teammates even more time. So, which would be big too, because he would be buying a BZ more time to get to new. But it's only one guy looking for him, and honestly, I think Cell probably gets it.
Now for the setup for Orlando Faze, looking very, very solid over towards P4. This is a dominant start. 30 seconds to go on this hill.
Okay, so they end up getting him. I don't know if Cell got a kill, or not a kill cam, but death cam on this guy. But now they're breaking through front scrap. It's a 2v3, so
On Ultra setting up
this is
from
pretty
right
good
side.
for
Trying to push
Ultra.
that. You're gonna get through Sim
3v1.
first. Well, you managed to do that. Scrap will find him. Draza gonna have to back on down. He may well be 12 and 5, making now 13. Is the 14th gonna be found there as well over towards Clean?
They just turn around. They know that they spawn too close here. And I think Insight went third, and so when Insight when you get to like this part of top AC to mantle up, they will stop spawning here and they will spawn here. They will spawn basically directly in line of sight where they can pick up front P5. And so his teammates trying to get this time probably would have just been futile.
Not quite.
So they're just gonna go ahead and set up for next instead of fighting for the 17.
It down.
Because Insight got top 3, that gives them a really good position for P1. They're gonna go ahead and set up for P1. Instead of Insight blocking these spawns, these two guys throwing their life away, giving up red control and all of like cafe side and all that shit. Really high level play. It's hard to understand like when your teammate's doing these things, but Insight probably called it out.
Not quite getting as many points as they were like.
He probably said something like they're spawning close.
We're going to be heading into a second
set up for
rotation. They're
P1.
going to find themselves 70 plus points behind their chance. Not necessarily what we expected heading into map number 1.
It honestly is like a snowball effect as well.
So
right?
they turn back around and they end up playing for this time. What was the reasoning for that? Insight didn't get a kill. Insight didn't spot anything. Everything I just said was a fucking lie.
Right, Toronto had that early rotation in P2. It gets broken down, and since then, Atlanta Faze have just been handling the map perfectly. So much so that even going into this new set of rotations, Atlanta Faze currently have the left side spawns for that future P2 rotation. Of course, got to get the kills first. A long way to go before we get there. And Ultra, for the first time in a long time, it will start soaking up the hill. CleanX inside the objective, and has all the players on the wings. And of course, well, Toronto.
This position is interesting out of Envoy. He's playing a spot where he can watch the OE from a weird, like, off angle, and at the same time, he can quickly help his teammate on hill by cutting off middle, like he's doing right now. He just takes 2 steps forward and he cuts it. This is a really good play out of Envoy. I haven't seen this kind of like spot be used to play OE like this, but I really like this.
Toronto finally have a bit of an advantage. It's a cruise missile to break it down. Draza gets Toronto out of time.
Yeah, BC coming around from the flank for the P3 side as well.
And now inside's completely overloaded here.
Scrap should be dead to rights anyway. Second gunfight going to come through inside, trying to stay alive as long as he can. A couple of players from Faze just staring at him. Coming in off the respawn.
So Celium is very important here. Envoy slipping in the top red above him is a big deal. Because what Envoy can end up doing is if he's close enough to this top single room, then Faze, if they go down here, are not going to spawn close dumpster jump. They're going to spawn way further.
Tight setup from Faze to stumble Toronto.
Yep, and you see that's what happens. He slips top. Let's see if Celium realizes once he sees his teammate spawned for like way far away from dumpster that there's a guy in red.
Ultra maybe trying to find some control over towards P1. Some good time for Faze. You have P2 rotation for the most part here. You keep an eye on where Abizi is. He's going to be heading over now with 10 seconds to go over towards P1. These kills starting to come through at the right time for Ultra. Those are the numbers that are going to be here. You need probably see a decent break from Toronto Ultra over towards P2 side.
Huge kill out of Abizi.
He can find one.
So with a great trade. Inside one shot last. Abizi is chowing. That was a ballsy chow, and then he runs in line. That was ballsy. He knows that his team spawned scrap, and he needs to play his life, and that was accurate. But
to rights. Gonna go for the chow. Abizi's gonna be forced out, as are the rest of Atlanta. Faze, Abizi falls. It's a good break on the initials.
Yeah, so that was kind of a low-key throw out of Faze. It was very slight mistake. They just kind of lost out on the trade wars. They traded out too, and then Inside got last. In the order in which everyone died, Toronto just got the good spawns because no one on Faze was blocking the pinch.
Faze players being back down, gonna have to hit through the front, and if you feel the tides might be turning, Jamie Craven Insight cannot get the cruise missile.
Draza wins that,
on the minimap as well. You got rotations, you got scrap time being fought for. This is teams trying to keep up with everything, and for the moment, it's Atlanta coming out on top.
Incredible.
I will say that you might be thinking, why are they fighting for 10? It's because in these sorts of situations where you have a significant lead, you can kind of afford to fight for scrap. It's weird, but if you're the team that's losing, you're really relying on chaining hills or getting like full hills and playing scrappy. But the team winning, they don't need a full hill to win this game. They just need, 10, 15 points here or there. Fight for scrap you probably wouldn't fight for otherwise. And 10 points of scrap time that goes to you is 10 points of scrap time that goes to them. So that's a 20-point swing, not just a 10-point swing. Like, instead of this game, being, 100 to 140 or 144, it's going to be, well, you get the idea. 107 to 144, it's going to be like 97 to 100,
Still from Atlanta
more than
Faze
100.
so far. Rotation looking very, very solid as well. Insight was taken down on an early rotation as he tried to find his way over, but nobody from Toronto Ultra carrying the boat right now. Atlanta Faze are going to be feeling so good about this rotation, so good about map number 1 and their chances in this series. Let's go for a listen with Atlanta Faze.
That timing for draws on OE. One guy. That was a weird. Are these spawn there? Alright, playing Scrapyard here for scrap and scrap is a very good play. He ends up killing someone for free in the back. I don't remember who. I think it was Draza. No. I think it was Abizi. Yeah. But regardless, a very good play.
Listen, just holding 10. Yeah, there's one in coop side, okay?
Yeah, stay on time, stay on time.
I'm trying. Middle, Toby.
Nice one, coop.
Help me.
Yeah, so as soon as Simp got this kill, Scrap should have immediately been aware that the spawner that he was playing for out here front red cut mid and killed his teammate. This is the guy off spawn that you're looking for. I'm not sure if maybe you're looking for a BZ too, but the BZ died first, so you would expect to have seen him right now. He's a little slow on this, but still, most people would have never picked up on that. So.
Let's go in the back, Scrap. He's trying, he's just late, he doesn't even know you're there. Nice. I'll coop. Yo, head out. You guys love hitting out. I don't see him coop, I'm trying to
For some reason, never mind.
Hold this, focus on this. Bottom shop, Kleenex.
Insane play out of Kleenex.
He's right stairs, holding stairs.
Expecting one to be OE.
Stand up top third. Stand up top third.
Play through Coop. You just play through Coop.
Nice, good chance. One still third probably. Yeah, one more top.
Third, right side. You should
And you see these preferred, oh my god, you see these preferred spawns I was talking about. You can spawn side bus, and if you force like a spawn like this on rotation, no bueno. But this is good because if you're Envoy, you'd rather be spawning here than spawning where Simp just spawned. But the thing about this hill is that P5 is a money hill. So if there's a situation where you can block this set of spawns while your team is rotated, then you should do it because it just spawns them further out. And it forces them, like you saw how annoying Celium was over here earlier. But it forces them to kind of either play through mid or kind of have to go for this annoying guy and play without info.
Coop to play that guy. You should play Coop.
Yeah, that guy's top strap, one strap, UMC. He's just sitting there.
And so this side calf spawned because Envoy goes low here. I don't know. They're still spawning close. Yeah, and so I think. Wow, I didn't know this. I think Draza being right here yellow is a line of sight open enough to block all of these cafe spawns and shit and over here, but also close enough to these close back spawns to block them as well. So he's simultaneously blocking both of these spawns, and you see, I think it was, did Envoy like kind of spawn there? No, I think Envoy had spawned there earlier. Yeah, he came through yellow. See this spawn. See this spawn. And now, as soon as he gets yellow, for some reason, CleanX just gets a free spawn for next. So this is very good for Toronto, obviously. Well, it depends. I think CleanX might go ahead and just get inside red. This spawn here is so weird.
I'm looking at the push. There's still something behind you. White track. Back left, Dylan. Dylan's one shot back left.
No, man, he's BK.
And Draza waits on this staircase right here. I think he knows he's blocking both these spawns. And so he waits for all the spawners for Toronto to come up. Then he just moves in and they fight for the scrap.
Yeah, BKW, one time.
It's absolutely slammed.
I'm not a big fan of the comms, but I am a massive fan of.
Yeah, and so this weird spawn. So CleanX spawned up and then Scrap spawned right behind him. Scrap ended up just playing, Scrapyard here. And I think Insight up here third, he's simultaneously playing old and also blocking these spawns in the back. Just kind of, so the lack of presence over here at these preferred spawns makes it an easy choice for the game. For some reason, you have Sims spawning here though. I remember what I said about these fire windows? I think Insight is aware that it blocks everything here. I mean, you can still get the close dump spawn. I think it's probably very finicky. Interesting.
The gameplay, Atlanta Faze, when they get that iron grip, there is almost no escaping it. Ultra fighting just from so far behind. They're getting teed off on the hard point, so much so that they just can't really collect any of these timed gunfights. It is so difficult for them to work.
And so Faze opting for the same thing Toronto did earlier, which is to just play for the scrap and then try and go through like hen side here.
Or maybe good news from Ultra though, they have a rotation. One of the only times they've been able to try to keep things stable and get ahead of the game. Bad news, Tom, they are down by 100 points.
Yeah.
The spawn out because Faze is third. I think this guy being middle blocks this close spawn, and the guy third blocks this close spawn. So basically, Toronto can't spawn close. So I don't know if that was luck or what, but
It's really felt like they've always been not.
Homie spawns a white truck, but then he's bottom green. So now that he's bottom green, he blocks all these spawns, and now Faze just spawn where he just spawned. Oh my god, this is so high level. Like, if they're doing this on purpose, this is really high level. Him filling green here ends up spawning Faze 40 meters or more further away from the hill than they would have otherwise. If he would have just filled through hen here, like a normal person would have done, to try and get to the hill as quickly as possible in a straight line, then these two guys would have spawned here and beaten him to the hill. By him going green here, now he beats them to the hill and buys his team time. I mean, clinical. Very good.
Well, we haven't been able to say very often that they are the first ones here, and they will find some good time, but this is a very good opportunity. Insight once again going a little spree.
And he goes red to continue blocking these spawns. So he goes green up here. Once again, these window spawns, I think, kind of block this. And he goes around here. This guy still spawns close dumpster, so it could have been a weird timing with him not being close enough to like a window or a line of sight to cut off calf here that made the game comfortable with spawning someone close. But regardless, he's done more than enough. By not getting a single kill, he has bought his teammates like maybe 10 seconds extra of time. We'll see if he kills anybody
That
here.
would be a really,
he just gets
really
ripped.
big help. Over towards the next potential couple of hills if Atlanta Faze allow it to go that long. Push going to come in from the top 3 side and also pushing in from red. Inside needs to try and survive. He knows this. And boy will find the first one to draws it through the front side. They have a potential pinch being set up as well. Celium says no to the cruise missile once again. Scrap all alone. Finds one.
Not sure why
spawn
out occurred here.
From the gunfight he is, but Scrap will back on down the rest of the team. Also already over here, and all of a sudden Kleenex is able to find the kill. The whole
So they're blocking these. This is that side yellow spawn. I don't think it wants to spawn them low green because there's a guy close red right here. And this guy close red is simultaneously blocking all these close spawns, obviously. So it kind of sticks with the yellow spawn because he's not close enough. Remember when Cell was up here and he blocked it? Well, this guy's not close enough to this angle to block this yellow spawn. So the game's comfortable with spawning them kind of close yellow.
decent enough from Toronto Ultra, but they wouldn't have minded a few more.
It's such a long way to go, though, right? The cruise missile could have been the setup to break through this P1 as well, but now you are still fighting from behind. But the 100-point lead does get chopped down to about 50 or 60 going in towards new. Actually, 60 on the dot, so the hope is still here, but a long way to go. The fight for power positions, by the way, right now commencing on the map. The fight for the time it is getting traded. Atlanta Faze, every single kill they get sets them up so far in advance, and looking at the kill feed.
So now the thing is Atlanta have third control, and remember what I said about Draza being in this spot, cutting off top AC Black Barrel, the OE, everything was like super good. Well, this is kind of why now they have third control, and Toronto is in no position to cut any of this off. So FaZe can kind of continue to fill through here if they like, or like Toronto have to do something about that if they want to get time on this.
Seem to be getting them all.
It's going so well for
And Draza's first play is to go back here and cut all this off. Because they have a guy third. There's no need to, like, worry too much.
The Faze in this map number one.
Just play for the immediate time.
220.
He doesn't go all the way over here because he would have his back turned getting the clock for too long, and it would open up a timing. Not sure if Scrap would have gotten here in time, but that's the reason he's playing close right here. Also to watch fire. He just didn't want to have his back turned too long.
Toronto Ultra trying to set themselves up the same as FaZe did, but Draza holding down the street, locking down the bridge side of the map, and it may well be the game here over towards P1. 4 seconds to go until you're hitting 230.
So something, Abizi didn't know if he was blocking this P3 spawn based on where he was positioned. So they kind of check and play for these timings real quick, and they're like, okay, no, they would be here by now. Boom.
It's good lock-in from FaZe so far.
And Toronto,
yeah, Beasley's still tweaked.
Time, right? You're gonna have to continue to do so for just
another guy's henland.
Because Atlanta Faze still bodies on the point. So Toronto overcommit just a little bit. The back spawns, I don't know if you call that open, but it doesn't matter because Atlanta Faze, they're gonna be the first team over towards P2 and Ultra. This is not an opportunity or a situation where you can.
Now FaZe is spawning relatively deep, so it's not as bad for Ultra as they're making it out to be. All of the 4 of the Toronto players are closer to this hill than 2 of the FaZe players, so this is still fine for Toronto.
Take your time on the brakes. You have to fly to break this down.
They have to move, and they have to move quickly. They found a break over towards P2 last time around. Can they do it again? But you absolutely must this time around if you are Toronto Ultra. Scrap can find one through the mid-alley. Isn't going to find a second. Draza is there to shut it down. 10 seconds away now for FaZe. Draza, can you hold it? It's looking like it's going to be Atlanta Faze to deal. What is only the 3rd time that Toronto have lost a hard point all year.
Wow.
Atlanta Faze,
And it was...
one.
What a game. It was fairly handy by Atlanta as well. Like, I felt like they were just comfortable that whole time. What a game. Alright, well, I'm going to end it here. And I'll go into the next one immediately after. This one went on for 40 minutes. It was a long one, but there was an excessive amount of shit going on the map that was actually pretty interesting. So, I know I talk a lot, but, like, obviously no one's here to watch the match or else you would just go to the CDL channel. So, regardless, I'll leave it.